So what's the easiest way to cut your study time in half and save hours of studying every week? Well, it's not some crazy study hack or memorization technique, it's something way simpler. Being more effective during the hours that you're already sitting in class. Because honestly, most of us sit through class, maybe we take some notes, and then we go home and have to reteach ourselves almost everything. At least that's how it was for me. And that means less time for the stuff you actually want to do, like hanging out with friends or playing games or whatever. Hey there, if you're new here, I'm Wendy. I'm an incoming math student at Cambridge University, and today I'll be sharing 5 strategies that'll help you learn in class instead of just surviving it. And these strategies helped me cut my study time way down, and I had more free time as a result, and I think they help you too. So tip 1 is preview the material before class. Now, this is probably the most effective thing you can do. Very simply said, you basically just scan the material yourself before you learn about it in class. So let me first show you a bit how I would do this. So the evening or the morning before class, or even when you're just already inside the classroom and people are still coming in and chatting, you can take those few minutes to look through the content. So I usually like to look at the headings, the subheadings, potential diagrams if there are any, bold words, and the summary, if there is a summary at the end. And the reason this is really effective is because when the teacher is talking or introducing a new concept, you're not actually hearing random words. You're basically recognizing concepts that you've already seen before. And so that makes it much easier to focus more on absorbing the information rather than copying down what the teacher said. That means you're actually learning in real time and you're studying less at home. Now let's head to tip 2, which is predicting the next steps. Now this one is especially useful for when the teacher is doing an example problem. And this kind of works best for STEM subjects like math and physics. And how this works is before the teacher reveals the next step, you're going to try to figure it out yourself first. And if you get it right, that's great, obviously. And if you don't, then you can immediately see what you missed. So let me give you a bit of an example how this would sort of look like. So say the teacher writes, solve 3 times x plus 4 equals 21. And maybe I'll think okay, I'm going to distribute the 3. So I get 3x plus 12 equals 21. And then the teacher writes, divide both sides by 3 first. And I'm like, oh wait, you can do that? I never thought about dividing first when there's a number in front of the parentheses. And that's actually quite useful because it skips the whole distribution step and it's quicker. Now this is actually quite useful because you're actually already doing practice problems in class before you actually do the homework. And it means that when you actually start doing the homework and practicing problems, it takes less time because you've already done quite a lot in class. Okay, tip 3 is take light notes. There are a ton of ways that you can take notes. There's Cornell notes, there's the mapping method, there is the outlining method, there are tons of methods of note-taking. And the method itself doesn't really matter as long as you keep it light and in your own words. Now, keeping it light is important because you're not focusing too much on the writing and not on what the teacher is saying anymore. And it's also important to write your notes in your own words. That way you're already sort of summarizing the information in your head and you're already absorbing it rather than just copying what the teacher wrote, because then you're not actually learning anything when you're in class. So the way I usually like to take my notes is I write down the most important concepts. I also write down the parts that I didn't really understand and also the things that I found kind of surprising. I also personally like to write my notes in a very compact way and almost like a bit of a checklist, because that way I can also use my notes when I'm revising. So I use my notes as prompts for active recall. So what I do is I try to explain each concept from memory and then check the textbook if I get stuck. And then when I'm doing the active recall, that could be mind maps, or it could be blurting, it could be any sort of form of active recall. But it really helps to keep these notes with you during active recall because it can serve a bit as an anchor. So let me give you a bit of an example. So say I was learning about the water cycle. For example, my notes could look a bit like this. I would have water cycle and then evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and collection. And then when I'm doing active recall, I can use these words to get the concept clear in my head. I could even cover up like the evaporation, condensation, blah, blah, blah part, and just look at the water cycle. And then I can say like, okay, so the water cycle consists of 4 steps. There's evaporation, there's condensation, there's precipitation, and there's collection. And then I can explain to myself, okay, so the way evaporation works is that water becomes vapor because of the heat from the sun. And then we get the next step, which is condensation. And in this step, the vapor becomes clouds because of cooling. And then we have precipitation, in which the water falls down as like rain or snow. And then collection, the water goes to the river or the oceans, and then the cycle repeats. And so this is an example of how you could use your notes when you're revising and using active recall for that. So tip 4 is connect to what you know. Now this is when a teacher introduces a new concept, you can try to connect it to the things you already understand. So for example, when you're learning about supply and demand in economics, it might be helpful to make the connection to, for example, concert tickets. So for example, when your favorite artist, they announce like a concert tour, the ticket prices might go up because there's a lot of demand, but limited supply. And like when you make these connections in class, the concept already starts being stored in your long-term memory with like, because it's got like a mental hook attached to it. And you don't need to spend any time memorizing it later when you're at home. And when you're, for example, revising for a test, these mental hooks make it a lot easier to recall. You can be like, oh yeah, so supply and demand is like when the concert prices go up. And then suddenly the whole concept comes back to you instead of there just being isolated facts floating around in your head. Tip 5 is mark confusion. Now, something I always do in class is that when something doesn't make sense, I always mark it immediately. For example, I write like 3 question marks, or I highlight it, or I circle it, like whatever it is that you want to do. And then I make sure I clear it up. For example, after class, I might ask the teacher, or I might ask a classmate, or maybe I sometimes just look it up online or ask like ChatGPT or AI. And this actually really helps to cut down your study time. Because this way you know exactly what you don't understand and what you need to focus on. And when you're studying, you can actually target the parts that you're struggling with rather than just rereading everything and hoping it like clicks. And if you like let the confusion pile up, the gaps actually get bigger and bigger. Because when new topics, when they build on old topics, you're going to find that the new topics are going to be way harder to understand. So when the exam time comes, you're trying to fill in all these gaps at once. And then it takes like forever to study. But if you like address them early and get them fixed, and also like mark it so you can search it up at home or just ask someone, then you fix the gap and then you won't have to worry about like trying to figure it out later when you're already further in like the material. Okay, so these were 5 strategies to help you make the most of your class time, hopefully. Please let me know in the comments which of these 5 strategies would you like to use in your next class. So yeah, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.